Hi, had to make a quick turn with the camera because I'm going to film at the back because there's a couple of things I want to show you that I am currently working on in this little vlog. I hope I will keep it little. I filmed twice already today, but they became really long, so I'm trying to do it anew. Okay, so stuff I'm currently working on. So I'm turning my camera around, my phone, and here you can see there is some mixed media that I did right before the summer holiday. And what I have been working on today is this. This is a watercolor and gouache illustration. It's actually a journal page. For me, it's a symbolic painting. Sorry for my fingers. I'm trying to find a way. And I've been working on it for quite a few hours today. Can you see the detail in that? And for that purpose, I here have some books that I used for inspiration, all by illustrated by Rebecca Dautremere, who is a wonderful master of gouache, and I find gouache still a very difficult medium to work with, to do it right, and I want to be as good as her with the gouache someday. I'm not by far, but I'm learning. So what I actually do is I keep these books close at hand, and I try to look for effects or similar situations and try to analyze what she's done. I already had Cyrano, but this holiday last week in France I bought Alice au Pays des Merveilles and Le Bois Dormé, which are, this is just Alice in Wonderland with the Lewis Carroll text, and the other one is a book that Rebecca Dautremere wrote herself, and it's sort of a version or a spin-off from the Sleeping Beauty. And I love this book. It's gorgeous. She is such a fabulous, look at that illustration. I mean, that's just simply wonderful. The way she manages to make this gouache look like real velvet is, you know, she's a master. I love it. So, you know, that's what I have been doing today, all day long, actually, because gouache is just quite a difficult medium to work with. If you come from watercolor, some people think it's the same, and it's not. It's really different. I hear people coming from oil paint who find it a lot easier because then you're used to working with the same technique. This is a bird woman. I find that the bird is, you know, in my work right before the holidays. This is a diptych that I did, and it is about my grandfather, who is, you know, he's now demented and taken into a special hospital or nursery home for that. And, you know, it's us, the standing birches represents us looking down on, you know, a shell, an empty shell, because the person in the shell is no longer really there. And the right panel of the diptych is sort of the, well, so the sad loneliness, you know, the wing is up, the person is still alive, but it's a very empty mask. There is nobody home anymore, so to speak. So it's sort of a tragic image. And for that, and for this, and this was one of the others I did in that series. It's like I said, bird theme is right now in my mind. I did that one too. This is watercolor. That one is watercolor too. And then here is the gouache, which you can see has a lot more depth to it. And this was another one I did a couple of weeks ago, which is watercolor and mixed media. What's with the watercolor and the gouache, it's what I use for illustrating, and it's a very precise technique and medium. And I was just pondering, because today I finally ordered a laser printer, a very small, cheap one, so I hope it's going to be okay. But I bought it to save my printing cost that I usually do on inkjet printers now, but also because you can make great transfers. And I just figured out why I a couple of weeks ago I sort of considered getting rid of all my mixed media stuff. I thought, what if I just focus on watercolor and gouache and see what happens, because I can express myself in it, pretty okay. But I didn't, and then I wondered why, and I know now, because I ordered the laser printer and I'm already thinking of, I'm flipping the camera, I'm already thinking of things I want to do. I am working on distressing some good paper in various ways. I might do a video about that, but I don't like pre-printed or pre-decorated paper, so I like making my own paper, but also I like to keep ephemera or this here is just a little something, it's worn down paper. It's you would throw it in a bin, but I actually there's a couple of pencil lines on here still, and I like incorporating things that I find, things that have meaning or don't have meaning but can get meaning into my work. And I find mixed media to be much more of an adventure, much more of a process, because it's not just the image that it's about, but it's also about collecting stuff. The art begins to happen when you collect stuff or when you make the paper. Because sometimes you make a stack of paper, you paint paper or you distress paper or you tear paper up, or and then the mixed media already begins. The painting is not just in the painting; it's a story, and it evolves much more than the gouache illustrations that I do, because that's a sketch, and then the sketch becomes a more detailed drawing, and then you start painting, and that's it, and you try to make it as perfect as possible. But it's different, and it's good too, but I find it's much more intense, much more, it feels like work, much more than mixed media, which feels like a constant outburst in all kinds of shapes and forms and in all kinds of techniques and actions, and sometimes you do really crazy stuff, and but it's all good. So well, that's what I've been working on today, and well, I am anticipating the arrival of my laser printer, so I'll probably be doing quite a few transfers the coming days, I think. So that means that reverting back to the mixed media rather than working in the gouache. Still, I hope to get much, much better at it, because what I love about gouache is the wonderful velvety texture that you get, and I love layering the opaque colors and making something delicate of it, which is exactly what Rebecca Dotrimer manages to do. And painting delicately is quite difficult. When you look at what she called Maria Kalman, she illustrated all kinds of visual columns for an American newspaper, and it's a gorge. She makes gorgeous work in gouache, but it's not delicate. Many people who work a lot with gouache don't do delicate because it's quite a difficult medium to work with. Rebecca Dotrimer does it delicate, and of course I want to learn the hard way. Anyway, I think I've said enough. I hope this video is shorter than the ones before. I hope you enjoyed having a peek into my studio, seeing what I'm doing. And, well, I'll talk to you again really soon when I have something new to say. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.